So tell
Um,
me, how can I help you? What's going on?
well, my both of my parents died last year. Both of them
Oh,
were suffering, so it in many ways is a good thing. But my mom was both possibly the best parent and the worst parent ever, where I felt very loved by her actions, but her words were just cruel. I have a lot of resent toward her. I have anxiety and stress. She's gone, and I really don't have anywhere to direct my anger, and I'm trying to grieve for her, but every time I start feeling sad, I also get angry. And then I get angry at myself because I feel like I'm a bad daughter for not being sad for my own dead mother.
you said she was amazing through how she treated you in terms of her actions, but she was verbally, these are not your words, these are the words I'm going to use. It sounds like she was verbally abusive.
Yes.
Can you tell me some of the things that she would say that really stung and hurt you very deeply?
Her tone of voice was also a big part of it. Just I
Okay.
felt very minimized by her. Nothing I did is like, well, let me see if you did that right. She's a perfectionist and I had to be perfect, so she had to check everything I did, and she just yelled. Just every
So
single
she
little
made
thing.
you feel demeaned and
Very.
stupid. I'm going to try to put this in a context that's going to help you process this very differently.
Okay.
Because how old are you?
I'm 44.
Okay, so for 44 years, you were the good daughter. For 44 years, you twisted yourself in any possible shape or tone or manner in order to please a mother who could never be pleased. What you need to do now in order to release the anger you got to do a couple of things. Number one, you've got to start speaking very clearly about the way your mother actually was. You grew up with a mother who was a perfectionist, who was mean, who was cold, and who left you with a lot of unresolved emotional trauma. And so, the reason why I think it's important to say this and to separate the way she treated you from whether or not she was a good person is because it's really hard as a daughter or a son if you particularly were trained to do what she told you to do, and trained to jump when she said jump, and trained not to push back, and trained to listen to this. You have been trained to put up with it for so long that it's confused what she did to you, which is not okay,
Right.
and whether or not she meant to.
Right.
One of the ways that you can resolve this with a parent who is emotionally abusive is to remind yourself that she was only doing what was probably done to her, and that generation in particular were raised by a generation of people who were very cold, who were very hardworking, who did not talk about their emotions, who were barked at, who were raised in the do as I say, not as I do, and do not speak. We do not want to hear from you.
Right.
And so all of the stuff that she has passed, that was done to her, she's now passed down to you because she didn't know any better. I guarantee you, if you told your mother that she was emotionally abusive and cruel, she probably argued back with you and didn't think you were correct
Right.
because she can't hear it. It's a subconscious pattern that she's repeating. I'm not defending her, by the way.
Right. Right.
People who say they love you can say very cruel things and not even realize that what they're saying or how they're saying it is cruel. And it's
Okay.
because this is how they were parented. It's how they've parented you for 44 years. They don't know any better. In her heart, I'm sure she loved you.
Of course. Yeah.
She had no idea how to show it. None, because nobody
That's
taught her. And it's important to understand that, okay? The bigger thing is, what do you do about it? The anger and the resentment that you're feeling, that can start to lower if you think about the trauma that she may have experienced as a kid. If you experience emotional abuse, which is what you experienced growing up,
mm-hmm.
your nervous system absorbs it, and your nervous system remembers what it's like to be berated, what it's like to wonder, is mom going to be in an okay mood today? Is mom going to yell at me today? Am I going to get in trouble today? And that kind of on edge, growing up with a hypercritical, mean mom,
Mm-hmm.
that is a form of trauma.
Yeah.
And so I want you to understand that, because I want you to be the one that breaks this generational cycle within your own family.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it that you need to have freed up inside of you around your mother dying and around the emotional abuse that she inflicted on you?
Well, she was so engaging and involved and loving as I was younger, and then she just turned mean when I got older, and so I knew she had that loving side, and then it just went away. And so I'm just like, where did it go? And
what's your theory? What's your theory for why it went away?
I think it was a control thing. Like, as I got older and I wanted to be in control of my life, she lost her footing, maybe, because she couldn't control it anymore.
That's a terrific insight. Here's another one. Is she the kind of person that wanted you to do exactly as she said?
Yes.
And when you got older, did you start to become your own person and you made choices that were different than choices she would make?
Absolutely.
A lot of parents in that generation view your expression of independence as disloyalty.
Right.
And when you have the strength to choose consciously that you're going to parent differently, it's a slap in the face to your mother, because you are saying very loud and clear with your decisions, I don't like what you did. I'm doing this. And so when parents feel that sense of, you're not loyal to me, you don't honor me, how could you make a different decision than me when I raised you better or I raised you differently?
Mm-hmm.
When they kind of react to it that way, they turn their backs on you emotionally. And then what happens is they start to see over and over and over again all the places where you're doing things differently than she would. Who are you? And in attacking you, what she's actually doing is fighting for and defending her own position.
Okay.
This is about her insecurities as a mom.
Mm-hmm.
This is about her feeling confronted and feeling betrayed as a mom.
Right.
This is not about you.
Yeah.
What are you feeling?
I miss her. I knew before she died, and I even said, I won't be able to myself until she dies. It was a relief. And I feel sad that I'm glad my mom died. I mean, she was suffering, and I'm glad that that's over for her, but
you're also glad because you were suffering.
I needed the pain to go away, and she took a lot of it with her, but then now I'm just, every time I think about her, I feel guilty that I had those thoughts.
She is still impacting you from the grave.
She is. I'm not surprised, if anyone would.
Feeling guilty is a pattern that she twisted to her advantage.
Right.
And you're so uncomfortable being fully yourself that when you get really close to being yourself, that old feeling of guilt comes up.
Right.
And the work that you're going to have to do, I don't think is about resentment. There's nothing wrong with being happy that your mother's dead.
Okay.
Especially when it means the pain has ended for you. And there is nothing wrong with recognizing that your mother was very kind and loving when you were little, and the second that you became an independent woman, she resented the hell out of you, and she let you know it every time she talked about it. And the resentment will go away when you understand that she just was modeling what happened to her. And it sounds like she did not have a great childhood, so she didn't know any better. Doesn't excuse her, it explains it, which frees you up emotionally. Now what you've got to work on is giving yourself permission to be you. And what that means is choosing thoughts that empower you. Mm-hmm. And the thought that empowers you is being relieved that she has died, because you deserve to not be in pain.
Thank you.
And she caused you tremendous pain. the only thing that I want you to do is when those thoughts come up, that yes, you can miss the woman that raised you as a kid.
Okay.
And you can also be glad that the person that haunted you as an adult has died.
Okay.
It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a bad daughter. You're being honest with yourself, and you are choosing your happiness, making a decision to say, I'm glad that she is finally gone because my pain from her has stopped. And now I can choose to remember the good parts from my childhood.
Right.
I can feel sad that she died and that she never fully understood what it meant to truly love somebody for who they are and who they're not. What are you getting from this conversation, Carrie?
The perspective that it wasn't as personal as I've been taking it, how she was treating me, and that it was all in her head, how she was directing her personal pain toward me, not purposefully causing me pain.
You know why people that love us hurt us?
Because they're safe to do it.
And because they hurt themselves. And so if they can hurt themselves, which your mother has hurt herself emotionally her entire life, they're capable of hurting people they love.
Okay, that makes sense.
The perspective that you're getting is a powerful one. Control is not love. Your mother was raised by people who controlled her and didn't truly know how to love her, because loving people means you love them for who they are and for who they're not. And the hardest part about being a parent is letting go of your expectation of who you think your child should be.
Right.
And loving them for who they are.
She did her best with what she had. And it wasn't personal to me that she was unloving in her words. That's what she knew.
And, you know, the sad thing about being really unloving and cold in your words is that the people that you're so angry at just go further and further away. And then you get angry at the distance, and they get further and further away. And then you get more and more betrayed and angry and upset. And because you can't possibly understand how this could be you, it gets even worse, which creates more distance.
Yeah, it magnifies itself.
She just didn't know.
Okay.
That's it. And now you do. And so you are the one that this stops with. And that's an incredible gift.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome so much.
I needed to hear
appreciate the question. Well, I really appreciate the question. And I wish you and your daughter the best.
Thank you. You too.
Hey, it's Mel. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already subscribed, please, please, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you like this video, I have a suspicion you're going to like these two next.